At Stock Car Racing's most iconic venue, we welcome you here on Turn 200 for a night of firsts. It's our first non-RIL League broadcast, our first broadcast from virtual Daytona International Speedway, and our very first of many broadcasts of the Venom Truck Series. It's round number 1 of season number 5 here from the world's center of racing. If you're a regular here with us on Turn 200, you already know the crew working behind the scenes for you here tonight. But if you're new here, first of all, welcome. Let us introduce ourselves to you. My name is Tommy Cook. I'll be calling the majority of the action that will unfold here tonight. But alongside me is the most important man on the team because he is the one that makes everything run smoothly, knock on wood. It's Mr. Matt Williamson. Matt, are you ready for what Dakota DeMade would call some good old-fashioned trucking here tonight?
Oh, you know I'm ready for some good old-fashioned trucking, my friend. We have long been waiting to be able to broadcast and bring to you some NASCAR racing action, and there is nothing that I would rather do more than bring the people some NASCAR trucking.
Well, there you go. It's the Rocketman 175 here tonight from Daytona International Speedway. We'll have our first of 2 duels for you, 10-lap shootouts for each of them just momentarily here. But while we got a couple of minutes before the racing action starts, let's go ahead and take a look at the full schedule for season number 5 for the Venom Truck Series. What are you keeping your eyes on here, Matt?
Yeah, so here for the schedule this week, we're going to take a look at a graphic here. There's 16-point races plus an all-star race at the LA Coliseum. You do get 1 drop week and 1 provisional, and there are no playoffs. The point structure is also the modern NASCAR point system. So you won't see any crazy point totals like you do in our RIL Daredevil series if you are a regular here on Turn 200. Looking through the schedule, some of the ones that I'm looking forward to the most, I am not a native of Nashville, but I now live in Nashville. So the Nashville Fairgrounds and Nashville Super Speedway are a couple that are near and dear to my heart. But a couple of others that I'm looking forward to is Darlington, and Bristol Dirt is always going to be an interesting one. When I got into iRacing for the dirt racing originally, did not put my wheels on an oval track until like a year of having iRacing. So I'm looking forward for some good old dirt track racing.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm looking forward to IRP. The All-Star race at the LA Coliseum is going to be a hoot and a half. Look down there on February 7th. It's Long Beach. Oh, my God. Trucks at Long Beach. Are you kidding me? That is going to be insane. Rockingham's a cool one as well, North Wilkesboro, and, of course, Atlanta. Atlanta's going to be quite the sight, as always. It's New Atlanta. I believe it's the first time these guys have run New Atlanta with the Venom trucks, so that's going to be pretty exciting. So what we've got here is our first of 2, basically heat races, but it's everybody's going right to the main event. It's a 10-lap shootout to determine the starting lineup. So let's go ahead and give you the starting lineup for shootout number 1 for tonight's Rocketman 175. And these were randomly selected starting lineups, so no rhyme or reason to any of it. But you got Kyle Zittel here, who will lead the field to green. On his outside, we'll have the rookie driver, Kevin Cochran. Row number 2 on the inside, it's Garrett Rainey in truck number 16. Kevin Sargent in the 09 to his outside. Rounding out your top 5 starters here is Michael Dean starting on the inside of row number 3. Kyle Dumig in truck number 18 to his outside. Another rookie driver is Ethan Patterson starting in 7th. Will Salamone in the 99 to his outside. Rounding out your top 10 will be Nathan Reynolds in truck number 51 and Cole Maxwell starting at his outside. It's Austin Holyfield, Jeff Langston starting 11th and 12th. Then it's Shane Wensloff and Greg Roberts in 14th. Corey Rutherford, Paul Sargent round out your 16 truck starting lineup here. Matt, what are the track conditions here as we start to roll around Daytona?
Yeah, some of our track conditions here. Actually, a very cool track temperature at the moment. We're 78 degrees ambient and only 79 degrees Fahrenheit on track as we get started for our first duel of the evening. So, I mean, here at Daytona, you really don't worry about tires anyways, but you're definitely not going to be slipping and sliding too much with track temperatures as low as that.
If you're hanging out with us here tonight, give us a shout. Let us know you're hanging out. J.K. Gaiman is here tonight. Eric Breeding is hanging out in the chat as well. So thanks for coming out. We've already picked up 5 subs since we started the stream here. So thanks for the love, whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitch here tonight. So 10 laps, and it's Kyle Zittel. And I'm going to get the name right here today. Had a practice race last Tuesday where I got the name wrong, but Kyle Zittel got it right. He walked away with the dub. But tonight is when the pay window and the points window is open. It'll be an awful good start to the night for whoever wins duel number 1 for the Rocketman 175. Green flag is out. We are trucking here on turn 200. Great start for Zittel. He brings Rainey with him. Rainey not quite clear of Kevin Cochran, as the top line already starting to lose some numbers here as these trucks get up to speed now, headed towards the back straightaway. And somebody, I believe, is already off the track. It's Greg Roberts has crashed. Now these are admin and iRacing controlled cautions. We'll have to see, as iRacing did not automatically throw the caution. The admins, I don't believe, are going to throw the caution. So we will have to stay green.
I was just about to mention, in the duels, there are no cautions in the duels. So
you're more up on it than I am.
Even if we have a massive wreck here, I do not believe they will be throwing cautions in either of the duel races here tonight.
Everybody else minding their P's and Q's. I suppose if you keep an eye on the field here, I'll go back and look privately at what happened to. And did I get that right? Yeah, that was Greg Roberts, I believe.
We have one jump out. That is Kevin Sargent jumps out in the 09 machine, trying to get to the outside, maybe make a little momentum work on the outside. He's got a few trucks behind him, and actually he's going to pull back down into the hole. Nothing doing there.
So not 100% sure what happened to Greg Roberts. I believe he elected to start from the pits and then just kind of pulled it off into the infield. So he did make contact with the wall, but I think he had already given up by that point. So not 100% sure what happened, but he's still got the big race to try and work his way up through the field. It's just going to be a much deeper start for him than he is looking for. 16 trucks in both of these duels here tonight, so we've got 32. If I can do math, Illinois math serving me correct there, I believe. So 32 trucks in the starting field here tonight. I always pin it on Illinois, but I always seem to be the one that gets it wrong. So I don't know what the deal is there. Nevertheless, it's still Kyle Zittel up front. Garrett Rainey then in the second position there, side by side. Behind him for third, it is Michael Dean in the 73 truck to his inside. Now here comes the charge. Leading the way is Will Salamone. Clears Dean is side by side with Rainey now for second. That top line has gotten formed up here in the last about half lap or so and really started to mount the offensive. That is Nathan Reynolds, I believe, the first truck behind Salamone. Still getting used to trucks and all that.
Yeah, please correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's Sargent in the 09 that's in the front of that top line.
I think you're right. It maybe is, yeah. So, like I just said, still getting used to the trucks and who's driving and all that. And I got to fiddle around with my cameras as well. So, doing some live camera editing for me to try and help my eyes out. Yeah, and you were right. That is the 09 truck leading the way on the outside. But it is Zittel and Garrett Rainey, first two trucks on the bottom. Michael Dean is third in line there. It's Salamone behind Michael Dean. So the 09 of Kevin Sargent is leading the outside lane. He does have help from the 51 of Nathan Reynolds.
And that outside line gained a lot of momentum there for a second. They've kind of fallen apart all of a sudden as one truck is moving backwards, decided to pull up and just pull out of the entire thing there.
So losing some momentum on the top side here as we are across the halfway mark. It's 6 down and 4 to go. Excuse me, 5 down, 5 to go. There's that math. I tell you what. Illinois math and reading comprehension. They're really struggling today.
I mean, I went there too, and I don't remember having those sorts of problems.
Well, yeah, I don't have a defense. Sorry. As I think that was Greg Roberts staying out of the way here as he made it back out onto the track. Eventually, when we get up to the main race here, there will be no fast repairs for these trucks. Which we are used to with the RL Daredevil series, no fast repairs in that. So one big crash is really going to at least take you out of competitive contention, if not just take you out of the race entirely.
Yeah, we're used to seeing no fast repairs in the RL Daredevil series, but here at Daytona with stock car racing, you really need that fast repair. So I would imagine we're going to see some patience at the beginning of the feature for the Rocketman 175 here tonight. As we, you know,
I'm sorry, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, this is only a 10-lap race, and we've already seen a lot of patience with our drivers. So I would imagine when we get to the biggie, they're going to give each other a lot of room.
See, you're talking about patience. I have none, apparently, today. I don't think I have any of the critical skills needed to broadcast today, unfortunately. So it's just going to be one of those days, I think. What I was going to say was Kevin Sargent was starting to mount the offensive there. But just as quickly as I was going to say that, the chart sort of stalled out here as we've now got about 2.5 laps to go here.
And Rainey and Zittel have gotten way out in front on that bottom line. They're going to have a head of steam with the trucks behind them coming hard as the outside line has gained some momentum. That's a 73 of Michael Dean trying to make a move on the outside, and they have some trucks with him.
Kevin Cochran gets shuffled out of the top line, but in comes Michael Dean to lead the way now. 2 laps to go at the line here in duel number 1. It's Dean who was pulled even with Rainey, and now Nose is ahead of him, but Kyle Zittel has led the entire way thus far. Zittel's lone win in the Venom Truck Series came at the season opener at Daytona last season in Season 4. So Zittel knows how to get it done and is proving it here, leading duel number 1, flag to flag thus far. But Michael Dean, now the momentum stalls out a little bit on the top side as everybody's starting to get in position for one last charge. Coming to the white flag.
And everybody knows it's go time. It was relaxed in the beginning, and now with a lap and a half to go, they've tightened the field up, and they're going to be pushing hard for these last 3/4 of a lap or so.
And Dean is as close as anybody has been to the front, other than Zittel, as Zittel gets a bump there from Rainey. That gets him all unsettled. Here comes the shot from the outside. It's Sargent pushing Michael Dean to the lead. Rainey goes around Zittel. They're 3 wide for 3rd. Now here comes Sargent to the inside of Michael Dean. He played him like a fiddle. Rainey now to the back bumper of Kevin Sargent. Zittel with a shot to Rainey. He sends the momentum upwards. They're wrecking behind, but up front, who is going to get to the line? The block at the line. Wow, it's Kevin Sargent. They were 3 wide behind him for 3rd, but Sargent holds off Zittel. Wow. That's for a starting position. That's not even for points or anything. That is to determine where you're going to start.
That was
incredible.
That was a heck of a finish. We're going to go see if we can take a little looky-loo at a replay here real quick.
JK Gaming says Zittel is going to be a tough customer here tonight. Kevin Sargent just gave him quite the run there.
This is Sargent in the front, kind of pushes Zittel down below the yellow line there. And I would love to look at a replay, but my session just switched
it's just
on
gone.
me.
Yeah. Want to say shout-outs to WH Leach 14 in the Twitch chat. And thanks for JK Gaming and Shadow Branch hanging out with us here tonight, as is Flinky is here. Greg Roberts says just lagged super bad at the start of that one. So that is what happened to Greg Roberts. As we're getting ready now for duel number 2, and we could be in for much of the same here. That was some awesome racing. So this is how they're going to line up for the 10-lap duel number 2. It'll be Jeremy McKinnon leading the way, and Pascal Simard, the Canadian, on the outside of the front row. Row number 2 is Michael Krall, and David Fay to his outside in truck number 88. Row number 3 is Ryan Dye with rookie James Efall to his outside. Then it is Paul Ellison, Rodney Roberts on row number 4, Daniel Morey, and Jan Van Leer. Round out your top 10 starters. It is Stephen Roman, who was awfully fast in our practice session last Tuesday night. He starts in 11th. Luke Peterson, another rookie driver, starting in 12th. And it is Ryan Borboom and Dustin Dean on row number 7. Both of those drivers are rookies. And at the back, we have Brantley Gainey Jr. and Andy Poliski, 15th and 16th. Track conditions, have they changed in the last minute and a half?
Oh, well, I'd love to tell you I'm having a little bit of trouble on my with my overlays and replay cameras here.
The session switching must have just messed everything up.
Yeah, I think having the replay on while the session switched really just it really just didn't like it at all.
Well, that's something we'll have to get working on here, I suppose. I don't really know. I don't really know. That's never happened before. So, well, anyway, and now I'm bugging out. I don't know what's going on. Nevertheless,
I hate to say this, but I am stuck on replay mode at the moment.
Well,
we're gonna take you behind the scenes here for just a second.
And sometimes you need to go under the hood. I'll keep an eye on the front for you here as the pace car ducks off and gives control of the field to Jeremy McKinnon. He gets a huge surge of momentum as the green flag flies. Michael Krall is out to second behind him. Pascal Simard, a little bit of troubles on that start here as the people who were behind him now are going to duck into that inside line.
I gotta tell you, Tommy, it never fails. The first race of a new league always goes the least smoothly as possible.
Gotta love it. Apparently, WH Leach 14 has switched from YouTube to Twitch, or from Twitch to YouTube, so that's an interesting move there. Nevertheless, it is Jeremy McKinnon leading the way, as Pascal Simard from the outside of the front row has slipped back to 5th. He's still leading that outside line, maybe, as Michael Krall takes a look to the outside, but ducks right back into line. Maybe just getting a little bit of air to the front of that truck. It's something that you and I have had to deal with many, many times at super speedways.
For sure, and I also just want to verify for myself and for the viewers, we are down the backstretch going into 3 at the moment, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect, because the replay overlay is still up, but this is live. I just want to let everybody know that the overlay is just a little messed up.
Well, we've got the warm-up period coming up after this race. We can figure it out then. But it is still Jeremy McKinnon leading the way over Michael Krall. Ryan Dye is in P3. David Fay is in 4th. As Fay, I believe, now has company. To his outside, it is Simard being pushed by Dustin Dean. So 2 rookies pushing up, trying to make some headway through the field. Andy Poliski is behind them. Trying to utilize the side draft here. And they've got quite a good run here, headed through 3 and 4. Simard is right back up front next to the driver. As, I hear some spinning behind.
Yep, one goes around. That was Paul Ellison.
Paul Ellison. So Paul Ellison goes around. I believe he's the only one, though. Moving back up front, we have a new leader, and then we have another new leader. Dustin Dean is now ahead of Pascal Simard up front. But Simard battling back on the inside with help from the man that he just passed, Jeremy McKinnon. McKinnon pushes Simard back out to the front as the outside line starts to stall a little bit. Dean and Poliski cannot quite get hooked up. They have lost 2, 3, maybe even 4 spots from that inside line now. As lap number 5 goes up on the board, it's 6 laps to go.
This group has been a lot more aggressive than the group in our first duel was early on in the race. In the first duel, we saw that they kind of stayed pretty relaxed and not many trucks up on the top side pushing to the front at the beginning. But within the first 5 laps of duel number 2, we have seen some beating and banging going on so far.
Whoa, man, they get really squirrely there down the back straightaway. And, oh, man, Jeremy McKinnon struggling to hang on to that one. But everybody keeps it pointed in the right direction for the time being. And maybe now will be Dustin Dean after getting that outside line regrouped. Took a couple of laps, but he is back out to the front in front of Simard. Oh, contact between Simard and Dean. Dean gets shuffled out to the outside. Simard back to the lead. First truck on the outside, then, well, now headed to the outside. Can't quite see the number on that. And I'm going the wrong direction with the old mouse.
Dean's going to fall all the way back to the...
Michael Krall. Yeah, he's the last car on the outside line now as Michael Krall noses out ahead of Simard. But the momentum coming back on the inside here as they approach the start-finish line. It's going to be Simard back in control at the line. Man, really bumping fenders here. So Simard made the contact there with Dustin Dean. Sent Dean all the way back. I don't know how they didn't wreck. But regardless, now Michael Krall is clear of Pascal if he wants it. They can try and get Poliski clear as well. And the 00, Stephen Vroman, is behind there as well, as now Krall will jump down to the bottom. Vroman now pushing Poliski. All right, Borbin going to get shuffled out of line now by Dustin Dean. Dean right back third in line on the outside, and actually he's not done yet. He's got a big surge of momentum here. He pulls up through the middle of the track. Where is this run coming from? Absolutely insane burst of speed, and they are 3 wide for the lead.
And they're hanging on to it, too. Hardly any trucks gaining momentum with them, and they are hanging on in the front right now.
I mean, he's got help from, what was that, Corey Rutherford behind him? He had help from somebody, but it didn't start that way. I mean, the run just absolutely came out of nowhere, especially for a damaged truck. I mean, that was just insane.
We are fighting hard on this lap.
They're wrecking. Only 5 trucks make it through. Everybody else is junked. Jan Van Leer was involved. Daniel Morey, Pascal, Ryan Dye, A lot of them just head straight back to the pits as there's more trouble. Brantley Gainey. He was the one that really gave the final touches to the shot from Dustin Dean. But he goes around on the backstretch. That has broken this field all up as they're going to be coming to one to go this time. To reset it for you, it's Michael Kroll and Dustin Dean out front all alone. Andy Poliski and Stephen Vroman may be in draft range. So watch for them to come into the frame here. But up front, it's Kroll leading Dean here on the white flag lap. What an insane race this has been. Just absolute chaos.
Yeah, Poliski and Vroman might have some damage. They weren't able to really get hooked up, and they haven't gained any ground on our leaders. It seems like it's going to be a fight between Kroll and Dean at the line likely, unless they can make something happen quickly.
Saw a lot of speed out of Dustin Dean in our race last Tuesday, but this is for the starting position that he wants in the Rocketman 170 Avenue for Michael Kroll as they head to the line. A peek to the outside. At the line, it's going to be Kroll by a nose. 36 1/1000ths of a second for Michael Kroll over Dustin Dean. Poliski in third, David Fay hard charging at the end to finish in P4. Stephen Vroman finishes in fifth. Wow, that was quite the extravaganza of a duel race. That was a lot going on there.
Yeah, that like I said a little bit earlier, they were not given any like the first group was. That was all take.
Well, do you need a couple of minutes here to figure out the replay situation?
Yeah, I'm attempting to restart the entire program.
Oh boy. Well, do you still have your technical difficulty thing on there? We can put that up and hang out for a couple of minutes.
All right.
Or I can just talk it out.
No, we'll send it to technical difficulties. I might have to do a couple things in-house on iRacing, and we don't need everybody to see the behind-the-scenes action. So, we're going to send it to our spectacular technical difficulties graphic, which we have not gotten to use, so that will be nice.
There you go.
We'll see you guys back here in just a few.
All right. I think we got it fixed. I hope we got it fixed.
Well, I can use my overlays now, so that's always a plus.
Hey, that's
our replay graphic is not permanently fixed to the screen, so that's good. That's a good sign as well.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot of people watching on YouTube here. A couple of people watching it on Twitch, but hey, welcome. Yeah, this has been awesome racing so far here for round number 1, season number 5, Duel 1. Of course, won by Kevin Sargent. He will lead the field to green here for the Rocketman 175 momentarily. Michael Kroll with quite the victory there, quite the popular victory as well in the chat with heat race, duel number 2. who do we got hanging out with us here in the YouTube chat here tonight? If you want to join us on the YouTube chat, we've had quite the influx of spam bots, so you're going to have to subscribe to do that. But let your voice be heard. We want to hear from you here and get to know everybody as the night rolls along. Who do we got? We got Max Ambull hanging out in the chat. He says, I'm sorry I missed the entry. I'm sorry, too. We got Nathan Reynolds. He's excited that Michael Kroll won that one, as is JK Gaming. Got quite a few people hanging out with us here in the YouTube chat. That is exciting. We got a couple of minutes left in our warm-up period here. And now my question is, Matt, can we do the starting lineup now, or do we have to actually wait for it to be at the feature session?
That's a great question. We usually don't have a warm-up period, so
right.
I have not tried to do a grid in a warm-up session. We can see what comes up. That does not look like anything, so we are going to have to wait for the actual feature part of the session to load up, I believe, to go ahead and do that for everybody.
Well, you got 30 seconds, your elevator pitch, I suppose. What did you see in that first two duels that you liked?
I mean, the thing that, and you know, we're very new to this series, so we're not sure exactly what to expect. But from what I can tell from the exhibition race that we saw about a week ago, among some other things that I've just been reading in the Discord and whatnot, there's a lot of respect between these drivers, and especially at a place here like Daytona, that goes a long way with your competitors. So I expect to see really great racing, and like we mentioned before, no fast repairs. So you're gonna have to take care of it. I don't think we'll see too much chaos here at the beginning, but great racing nonetheless. And then it's going to get pretty intense here towards the end for sure.
I think you're absolutely correct on all fronts there. But we are now ready to go. It's time for the Rocketman 175 here tonight at Daytona International Speedway to kick off the season number 5 for the Venom Truck Series. They will roll off like this. Your winner in duel number 1 was Kevin Sargent. Truck number 09 has control of the field. When they come around to the green, it'll be duel number 2 winner Michael Kroll to his outside. And the Daytona winner from last season, Kyle Zittel, in truck number 53, starts on the inside of row number 2. Dustin Dean fought hard for the victory there at the end and finished P2. He will start P4. Garrett Rainey, Andy Poliski on row number 3. Then it is Will Salamone to the inside of David Fay in truck number 88, starting in 7th and 8th. Row number 5 on the inside is Michael Dean. He'll have Steve Vroman to his outside in the 00 in 10th. 2 rookies on row number 6. It is Ethan Patterson on the inside, Luke Peterson on the outside. Nathan Reynolds starting deep in the field here. 51 truck starts 13th. Jeremy McKinnon to his outside. Jeff Langston, Brantley Gainey, 15th and 16th. Cole Maxwell, Ryan Borboom, 17th and 18th. Top 20 is rounded out by Kyle Dumick and Kevin Cochran, Paul Ellison, 21st, 22nd. Austin Holyfield, Pascal Simard, Corey Rutherford, Daniel Morey, Shane Wensloff, Jan Van Leer, Greg Roberts, James Efall, Paul Sargent, and Rodney Roberts. What are we going to be keeping our eyes on here, Matt, as the race rolls along here tonight at Daytona?
Well, Tommy, we have 0 fast repairs, as we've already mentioned. Probably going to be looking at around 30 to 35 laps on fuel before these guys are going to have to come in, unless we see cautions, of course. There are lucky dogs and wave arounds, and the leader does have lane choice on restarts. And as far as the weather goes, we are pretty much unchanged from our first duel that we got to see. We are at 78 degrees Fahrenheit track temperature.
Well, the sun is going down. It's about time to kick it off here. Good old-fashioned truck racing at Daytona. There's nothing like it. And it's our first time. You'll never forget your first. And it's been a night to remember already thus far for the 32 trucks here tonight at Daytona for the Season 5 opener for the Venom Truck Series. Pace car is off. It's Sargent and Kroll on the front row. The green flag is out. We are racing at Daytona with the Venom Truck Series. Great start there on the inside line. First two trucks. Sargent and Zittel out ahead, but is the run going to come down the back straightaway here on the outside line? Here comes the push from Dustin Dean to Michael Kroll. Remember, as they run right now on the start, these are the drivers that they were just fighting with moments earlier. And now you have to work together. Who is going to lead lap number 1 on the season for season number 5? Michael Kroll. Kroll leading the way. That is career lap led number 59 for driver number 11. Coming into tonight, he's not a noted super speedway racer. His best super speedway finish in his career was a 12th at iRacing Super Speedway in season 3. But he's could have fooled me. He's off to quite the start here. Trying to mine their P's and Q's all the way around. So chatting over the radio, drivers just trying to fall in line here, laps. And I wonder, what do you think? Is Michael Kroll comfy up top, or is he trying to get down to the bottom? He hasn't had the opportunity to do so, but do you think he will when he gets the chance?
Well, we saw in the exhibition race that there were some drivers that just actually preferred that top line. And here at Daytona, if you have that line moving, you can carry a lot of momentum around there. So if you're looking to maybe stay out in front and not get leapfrog, it could be a good thing to stay out on the top, but it's also a little bit of a scarier place to be as far as maybe getting caught up in some sort of wreck goes. So it depends on if you want to, try to just keep that momentum going. But there is a little bit of risk involved in it as well that you don't necessarily have on the bottom.
He had quite the opportunity to get down in front of the 09 of Kevin Sargent there, elected not to do so. He's getting quite the shot in the arm down the back straightaway from Dustin Dean. He is really pushing the living daylights out of him. You see it there, just a little love tap there, and that's enough to get them both clear. Maybe now they'll elect to go to the bottom, but maybe not. Dustin Dean and Michael Kroll, the dynamic duo from duel number 2. Now there goes Kroll to the bottom, Dean to follow, and they have put their stamp on the field already. Now Dean goes back to the outside.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a later move than I would have expected for them to try to go down to the bottom. They had the bottom line cleared for quite a while, and then Kroll decided to make kind of a late move down, and Dean didn't necessarily have all that much room to get down there.
Tonight is the Rocketman 175 as Dustin Dean, I think, is nosing ahead. He does at the line. Is he going to get clear? Not quite. Kroll fighting back on the inside. Tonight is the Rocketman 175 here to open things up this season for the Venom Truck Series. It is a memorial race for a man they called Rocketman, Merv Turner. Merv passed away about a week and a half ago. One of the originals of the Venom Truck Series, running 24 races with the Venom Truck Gang. And all the drivers in this series remember Merv fondly. Many of the trucks here tonight have the Rocketman Memorial logo on them in honor of Rocketman Merv Turner.
We have some contact a little bit farther back there in the pack.
Dean now hops down in front of Michael Krall. Yeah, the top line fell apart there, so I'm wondering if something happened. The bottom line's a little more formed up now. Keeping tabs on some of the drivers further back. I think everybody is still in touch with the pack. Maybe not. Paul Ellison and Corey Rutherford back there in 30th and 31st are questionable. Rodney Roberts had a packet loss and dropped out. He is reconnected to the session, but he will be a couple of laps down. I'd say early in the going that maybe he might be able to recoup some of those losses here with a couple of cautions. As we're about to go 3 wide for the lead, it's Poliski taking it to the outside. Dean gets shuffled to the middle. Dean hanging tough. Poliski leads the lap. Dean, it just looks like he has like turbo boosters on the back of that car or the back of that truck. He's just able to make his own runs. It's insane.
Yeah, he's gotten some huge runs. I mean, we also saw Poliski there with quite literally zero help, was able to create himself a run to lead the lap and nose out in front for just a second as they're actually going to pull down to the bottom now.
You would think it would be the opposite in the fact that the Cup and the Xfinity cars would be the ones that don't need the help here as, we're about door banging through the field. Poliski now, the door opens on the bottom. He looks to go through to the lead, and he does at the line by 2/1000ths of a second. Dean to shuffle back to the outside. Now Krall pushing Poliski on the bottom. But you would think it'd be the Cup and the Xfinity cars that would be able to generate their own runs and not the trucks. But it's been quite the opposite. I bet a lot of these drivers are licking their chops seeing some of the runs that these solo trucks are getting, as here comes a big surge of momentum on the outside line.
Yeah, we saw Poliski get it.
Yeah, you can shuffle him out as many times as you want, but Dustin Dean is just not going away. Poliski leads the way.
Poliski was getting a heck of a push from Michael Krall. Krall was just absolutely attached to Poliski, giving him the business there down the backstretch.
Got over 20 people watching right now on YouTube. That's awesome. Thanks for coming to hang out with us. And these trucks are putting on a good show, I know. Poliski and Krall still working together. And is it time to start thinking about fuel? How long do we have until that if we stay green?
Well, if we're going to stay green this entire time, we're estimating that they can make it up to 35 laps, which would be our halfway point in the race. So I would imagine that you would want to try to stretch this thing as far as you can. So if we stay green the entire time, you might be able to make it on just one stop.
And boy, that is tight though, isn't it? The fuel window is almost exactly halfway. Are we going to see anybody just say that it's not going to be possible and split it into 2 stops?
Well, I think the odds of us going green this entire race are probably not likely, so that has to be rolling around in the back of your mind as well.
You sure would think so. But these guys are racing hard and clean. It's the ever sought after combination. It hardly ever rears its head though. Top line is starting to fade just a little bit as Dean goes from the inside to the outside, back to the inside, back to the outside. Now he's got a little bit of a run here as they go through the trioval.
Yeah, he didn't quite
Dean
have the
is dictating the lane. Whatever lane he's in, he is absolutely dictating the pace of it.
And we have a lap car that's going to run up to the 3rd lane here.
I think that's Rodney Roberts. And, he nudges into the wall there, but keeps it up there.
It's always scary when you're much faster than a lap car like that coming to them. There's a lot of room here at Daytona for a car to stay up on that, or a truck, I should say, to stay up on that third lane. But it is scary when you have a full head of steam going into a corner. It's kind of easy to drift up the track just a little bit and make a little contact. So you really got to be on top of it when you have a full head of steam on a lap truck like that.
Now, that is the worst place to be caught by the field, in my experience, is at the entry of a corner like that. Because you're watching the field, making sure that you're in your own lane and not watching where the wall is, and then you're in it. I can't tell you how many times it's happened to me. Numerous. Because here's a big shot there from David Fay up to Dustin Dean, who led last time across the line, has a nose out in front of Poliski right now.
I know it's not as prevalent in the trucks to have overheating issues as it is, would you say, an Xfinity car, but we've seen Fay kind of pull out on the outside of Dean a little bit, maybe just trying to get some clean air to that truck to keep this run going.
And JK Gaming in the YouTube chat handing us the strategy notes. He says one stop hasn't been the way to go the last couple of seasons, and we might not see a caution until the last 10 laps of this race. So he's calling for a two-stop race. That makes sense to me, but you'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see if they even get 36 laps on a tank. It's on for somebody, I'm sure.
Yeah, especially if you're sitting there kind of towards the back of the pack. Maybe you're thinking about it to try to get the jump on these guys, or if you're somebody that isn't maybe the most comfortable racing in a tight pack on a super speedway, maybe that's something that you think about, trying to play that fuel strategy. There's certainly at least a few of them thinking about it, I'm sure.
Let's go through the field really quick with how they came across last time. Poliski was the leader. In second was Dustin Dean. He's the first truck on the outside line there. Michael Krall in third. David Fay in fourth. Stephen Vroman right now rounds out your top five. Luke Peterson in sixth. Kevin Sargent. Kyle Zittel in eighth. Cole Maxwell ninth. Daniel Morey rounds out your top 10. Garrett Rainey, Austin Holyfield, Will Salamone, Brantley Gainey, Michael Dean, Ethan Patterson, Kevin Cochran, Ryan Borboom, Paul Sargent, Pascal Simard, your top 20. James Efall, Shane Wensloff, Jeff Langston, Greg Roberts, Nathan Reynolds back in 25th. Ryan Dye in 26th. Kyle Dumig 27th. Jan Van Leer 28th. Paul Ellison and Corey Rutherford, I think, maybe hanging on to the very tail of this pack in 30th and 31st. And 4 laps down in 32nd is Rodney Roberts, who I believe is also in this lead pack now.
And while you were going down the leaderboard from, I believe that was lap 14, we have all of a sudden gotten conservative. Most of the front of the pack has gone single file with just a few stragglers there on the back on the outside line.
And you know what that tells me?
We might be getting ready for pit stops, but it seems early to me. I can't imagine that we would be going to pit stops this early.
I would agree, actually, now that I actually stop and think about it. That's that Illinois math again. See, you escaped Illinois. Your Illinois math became actual math. Mine did not.
I don't know if Tennessee math is any better than Illinois math, but I'm sure I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Well, you know how to use your brain. I don't. If this broadcast has proven anything, I don't know how to use my brain. So, yeah, it's Poliski right now leading Krall, Vroman, and Dean all tucked together nose to tail on the inside. But there goes Dean again back to the outside.
I was going to say, some of these trucks that went single file, it's going to allow some of those guys towards the back of the pack that feel like they want to make a move for some track position. It's going to give them the opportunity to gain some of that track position that they can get a few trucks on that outside line possibly. So a great move from Dean to say, no, I'm going to control this thing. You're not getting in front of me on the outside.
So just as quickly as it quieted down, it is ramped right back up. 53 laps to go. And a new thing for us, unlike the RL Daredevil series, we've got no time limit on here. Or at least not a time limit that we're going to exceed. I guess there does have to be a time limit in every session, but I mean, if we can't complete 70 laps in 2 hours, then that's, I don't really know what to say.
Problems.
Yeah, we got bigger problems. So, yeah, 52 laps now to go as they cross the line. Andy Poliski been in control of it for the last 10 laps or so, after he made a great move to get himself out to the front. But Dustin Dean has been battling everywhere, whether he has been just outside of the top 5 or in second or in the lead. He has been the man to watch. Now David Fay pulls up to his back bumper, and they start to go to work once again.
Hey, Tommy.
Uh-oh.
What do you say we shut our traps and crank it up for the fans?
You want to crank it up for the very first time ever here on Turn 200. I say, let's do it, partner.
All righty, let's do it, baby. Oh, they're wrecking!
And that might be the big one.
I was going to say this before we went to crank it up, but for whatever reason, whenever you go to do that with no commentators, something inevitably happens every single time. And of course it happens here in the Rocketman 175.
I mean, some pretty big names involved in this one here, as this happened right at the front. And I think what you're going to see is some pretty awful netcode.
Well, I'm going to go back to this yellow flag here and see what I can find, and I can only pray that my overlays will not mess up this time. We're going to see what we can find back here.
I mean, Dean, Sargent, Zittel, Holyfield, they seem to get the worst of it. Jan Van Leer with some pretty significant contact as well. Ethan Patterson.
We're going to go ahead and go to this chase cam here. This is right at the front of the pack. This is Dustin Dean on the outside.
Tell me if that looked like netcode to you. It sure looked like it to me.
There was some netcode, but they might have made contact anyways had it not happened. That was the 11, I believe.
Of Michael Kroll.
And a few trucks squirted through on the bottom there, but Dean comes down and clobbers a couple more, and we're going to have quite a few collected here. You can see some guys trying to make some evasive maneuvers down towards the bottom, and just not working for them. They get kind of stacked up behind them, trying to put the brakes on. We're going to have to see how this one shakes out because, as we previously said in the Venom Truck Series, there are no fast repairs. So if you have significant damage, that might spell the end of your night.
And as you continue to roll some replays here, the entire pit road, as it was about time to get some service. First truck off of pit road is going to be Andy Poliski. No surprise, he led the field on to the pits. Steve Vrillman follows him off second. Then it is Kyle Dumig now in third. David Fay rolls out in fourth. He loses one spot there on that pit cycle. Pascal Simard, I think, is going to be the big jumper because he came into the pits 29th. Actually, he is a lap down, so maybe he was already getting service before that. As I believe James Efall just towed back to the pit, so maybe his damage was too severe to continue.
Yeah, here's some of the trucks that are still in pit lane. I'm assuming trying to fix some damage. We have the 89 of Luke Peterson, the 8 of Cole Maxwell, Austin Holyfield in the 30, James Efall, who you just mentioned, in the 25, Kyle Zittel, who's a hard hitter, the 53, Dustin Dean, who was out front all race long, Ethan Patterson, Jan Van Leer, Kevin Sargent, and Kevin Cochran are all still in the pits at the moment, trying to fix some of the damage that they have incurred in that incident.
As the pace car approached the pit entry there, Luke Peterson, Kyle Zittel, and Cole Maxwell all hit the burners and got out of there. Everybody else is still in there, so more significant damage for those drivers than Zittel and Maxwell and Peterson. Zittel took a hard shot to the right side of the truck, but not really in the front or the back. Is that your preferred zone to take the damage if you have to?
Yeah, I mean, if you get hit from the backside, you're obviously going to lose some aero for sure. But if you get hit in the front, you're going to have some engine damage, which at a track like this, you can, well, at any track, but especially a track like this where you have to carry high speeds, that you're not going to be able to compete whatsoever. So if you get hit in the side or from behind, you can maintain some speed as long as you're in the draft usually. But if you have engine damage, that's when you start getting in trouble where you can't keep up with the pack. Even if you're only riding around in the back with heavy damage to the rear of your truck, at least you can keep up and you're not going laps down.
Well, we got 30 people watching right now. How about it? Thanks for coming to hang out with us here tonight. It's been an awesome race thus far. The duels were awesome. The racing has been pretty clean. We've just had our first caution, and we're coming to 47 to go. We still need another pit stop inside of about 35 laps to go. So, well, some racing to be done here before we can come back to pit road and top it off for good. Poliski in control of the restart on the outside line. He comes back to the line. The green flag is out. 47 laps to go.
And
Rainey. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the sun has now faded all the way. It is pitch black and the lights are on here at Daytona, and you love to see that.
The field is not too far separated from Kyle Zittel, who has damage, wasn't able to catch up to the tail of the field, so they're going to lap him here momentarily. So here comes a big run down the outside of the back straightaway. David Fay leading the charge. He's got help from Brantley Gainey, as well as Daniel Morey. First three on the inside line are Poliski, Rainey. Oh, we've got Gainey and Rainey next to each other. I foretold this was going to happen. I'm definitely going to mouth mush these two together as Fay across the line leads it. He's really in the middle of the two lanes there. He finally comes down to the bottom.
And we see a lot less trucks in this front pack right now. As I'm sure we had some damaged trucks that are just staying around in the back here trying to keep up with the draft. All the way back to Reynolds is back here. I believe Maxwell, Sargent, Zittel just single file back here trying to keep up with the pack at the moment. Or maybe just saying, all right, we're going to settle down and at least get to our next pit stop, and then we'll assess where we're going to go from there possibly.
Maybe going to get shuffled out. He needs to get back down to the bottom. There he goes, David Fay. But new leader on the outside, Brantley Gainey. And first time we've seen this driver up front here tonight. How about it for Greg Roberts in truck number 68? He rides P5, now make it P6. So welcome to the front. But Fay, man, he keeps opening the door, even if slightly, not hugging that yellow line. And Poliski, I think, is being polite for now, but at what point does that patience wear out?
Yeah, well, you know, when we get down to the last lap, if there's any sliver of asphalt left that's not underneath that yellow line, I should say, somebody's going to try to stuff it there, and it might not end well for either of the drivers, but of course for the one that gave up that position will likely get turned into the inside or the outside.
And Poliski is one of the, I believe, 3 drivers who are tied atop the all-time win list in Venom Truck Series competition with 9 victories. So he knows what he's doing. If there's anybody I want to have behind me, it's definitely him. He's also a winner in Super Speedway competition with the Venom Trucks, a winner at Talladega in Season 3.
We have a couple more chatters.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
A couple more
Let's
chatters.
give some love to our YouTubers here.
In the old YouTube chat here, we got 30 people watching, it looks like, right now, so thanks for coming out, everybody. We have James Efall, I'm assuming. This is Major Efall on YouTube, said, well, that hurt.
Yeah, I believe it.
And we got good old Brad Saxton saying that we got a great group of commentators here. Yeah, Brad Saxton's in the chat, says, might have to hire us to do a league. Well, maybe there's a league that you could race in coming up. I don't know. We'll see.
Whoa. Spoilers. Good old Brad Saxton hanging out with us here tonight. We've got all the boys in here. We got Hunter Leach. We got Brad Saxton. Do we have Brad Laxton in the chat as well? We got Bradley Sexton. Is he here? We can get the whole gang together, maybe.
Yeah, some of the Turn 200 OGs in the chat. Love to see it.
As now dropping to the bottom is Gainey, and that moves Daniel Maury up to the outside of, or the front of the outside lane, rather. And Maury's got the rookie R next to his name here, but he did race one race last season. It was the season finale of Season 4 at Legacy Atlanta. So Maury not completely new to this group of drivers, but whoa, man, tight corners there. Holy cow, that was almost disaster.
That was tight, and everybody scrambled out of the way. I don't know who that was. I didn't get to take a look, but that was scary. That was a moment. That was surely a moment for our drivers.
Hopefully everybody up there has the brown fire suits. Otherwise, it's going to be a messy cleanup after this race. Wow, that was a moment.
Yeah, David
Fay
in the UPS suit's probably okay, but I don't know about everybody else.
Yeah, what can Brown do for you? That's going to be the question here. As now it's Greg Roberts leading the outside right. Man, it looked like they just got up and made some contact with the wall, though, as they're trying to dig hard on the outside. They pulled up even now with Brantley Gainey, who was second on the inside line there. But the top line kind of broken up right now. They need to get formed back up. It's actually the top 3 trucks who have separated themselves now from the first truck on the inside, which I believe now, or the 4th truck on the inside, which I believe is Poliski. And I believe Cole Maxwell has now dropped into line on the bottom as well.
Yeah, there's a big gap between Maxwell and Poliski right now. As you see that 8 machine, that is Maxwell. And Poliski in that white 32, he is about 5 truck lengths behind on the bottom line. And we have one that's going to squeeze in there.
Coming to the line, it'll be 39 laps to go. So in theory, the fuel window opens in about 4 laps. Are you coming right away? How long are you waiting?
Well, some of these guys, I mean, these guys have gotten fuel already, so we're gonna at least take it to probably.
So you're going empty tank then, is what you're doing. You're just running all the way out. You're not coming right away to top it off, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only benefit to that would be having a shorter pit stop, with not needing to take as much fuel. I wouldn't do it right away if that's the strategy that you're wanting to take. But you might do it around lap 40 or so. But the other thing they have to worry about is possibly going a lap down if things don't go that smoothly for you. So there's some strategy to think about here.
That's why I let you do the thinking. I let you and Brad do the thinking anyway. I just turn left and hope for the best. Doesn't always work though. Is how about it? Greg Roberts goes to the top spot. Is that what? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, is that why you're out of the playoffs in our Super Speedway League?
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly why I'm out of the playoffs in the Super Speedway League. Oh, brother. It's Greg Roberts leading the way. And after he made it not even one corner in the duel, it shows that persistence pays off. Unfortunately, he's about to get freight trained on the outside as it's rookie Ryan Borboom, who edges ahead with help from, I believe, the 28, who is 4 laps down. That is Rodney Roberts. He's actually 3 laps down now. So Rodney Roberts, the second truck on the outside, 3 laps down, pushing Borboom out to the lead. And this is Michael Borboom's first race with the Venom Truck Series here tonight. So, he gets a little bit out of shape there on the front bumper.
We have lap traffic coming up as well that we're going to have to navigate. Looks like most of them are staying down at the moment. That's a bold strategy.
Oh, yeah, and Reynolds, Roberts. Oh, my gosh. My brain just completely froze there. Roberts, had to check up hard for Ethan Reynolds. That really put this field out of sorts. As Ryan Dye now runs in P2. So we've got 2 lap trucks, actually, that just pushed Ryan Borboom, and now they go ahead of him. So Borboom is in first, but he's third in line. Then it is Ryan Dye, who has just sucked right up to this group.
And this is where, for broadcasters, it gets quite confusing.
More lap traffic. Moving to the outside this time, though. I had my druthers. I think I'd rather have the lap traffic to the outside, but that's just me.
I don't know. I believe that you're listening to driver chat, so I don't know if there's any chatter about, if we're going high, staying low, or what's going on there.
Very minimal. As Ryan Dye is out front of Daytona, he is looking for season championship number 3. He's won back-to-back titles in season 3 and season 4. And he is out front for the first time this season.
Going for the 3-peat, and in many sports there have been a lot of 2-peats, but the 3-peat is a difficult task. We'll see if Ryan Dye can do it in Season 5 of the Venom Truck Series.
He likes to clean up on a lot of the smaller tracks, I've noticed, or at least smaller than this. He has a lot of wins on intermediate tracks. Also picked up a win at Dover last season. It's not been his bread and butter, super speedway racing, but did pick up a third-place finish a couple of seasons ago at Talladega. That's his best super speedway outing with the Venom trucks. Cole Maxwell is now aiding him. And with the 2 lap cars on the inside, they are first and second there on the outside. Ryan Borboom is third on the inside line, third overall. Yeah, it definitely gets confusing, like you said. This is where we earn our money, in air quotes.
Oh, and I think that was... there was a truck that almost got up into the outside wall going into 3 there.
Well, partner, this is going to be the first time in quite some time that we're going to have 2 broadcasts in one week, as it's right back to it tomorrow night. Around the same time, we're going to have the RL Daredevil Series at Gateway. If you don't know what the RL Daredevil Series is, it is Lotus 79s on pretty much on a kart-style schedule. So they're functioning as old kart cars from the 70s and 80s. And so that is always a hoot. They put on quite the show. We hope to see you back here tomorrow night for that, as the Daredevils take on Gateway as they start heading towards their championship race here in just a few weeks.
Yeah, only 3 races left, including the race tomorrow night. And the title hunt right now is somewhat one-sided, but things change very quickly as far as the point structure goes in that league. So there could definitely be somebody coming from the back, or at least from the middle, to make a push for that championship still. It is certainly not over.
And speaking of champions, Ryan Dye has dropped to the bottom. He does not really have that much help from Samard behind him, as now Cole Maxwell is nosing his way out into the lead down the back straightaway here. Pit window, by the way, is open for anybody that elects to pit early. It'll be 31 laps to go at the line. We've only had one caution here tonight. Quite some number of different leaders and lead changes as well. I don't have those numbers quite anywhere that I can see. I got to get that fixed. I'd like to have those stats on hand. Nevertheless, Cole Maxwell across the line has about 8 1/1000ths of a second. He's got help from Daniel Morey behind him. Go ahead.
I'm just going to say, if you're Ryan Dye right now, haven't had the greatest finishes of super speedways, you got to be feeling pretty good right now. I mean, you're up front on the bottom. You have not likely, you definitely have one more, as I'm going to say, he's out front on the bottom. He's just getting passed by Maxwell, so he's actually going to be second on the bottom now. But when you have another pit stop to come, and a lot of single file, not likely to have any incidents here, being in control and being out front of coming to the pits is a key thing to be able to have for you. As he actually pulls out and gets right back to the front again. He wants to control this race badly.
Yeah, he was on the bottom. Maxwell jumped in front of him on the bottom. He goes out and top, pushes him back to the lead, and now he moves back to the bottom. They've got the 18. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, he made it look so easy, too. He got passed by Maxwell, and in the very next set of corners said, I think I'm going to take it back.
The 18 truck is Kyle Dumig. He is the first truck a lap down in P20. So he, right now, would be in position for the lucky dog, which is another thing that we have to be conscious of because we don't have that in RL Series competition, which is basically our baseline for anything at this point. This is only our second league that we've ever broadcast. Incredibly excited to be on board for Venom Truck Series season number 5. It's been a lot of fun so far. If you're enjoying it, we want you here every single week. So hit the subscribe, like the stream. That would help a ton. We've surpassed 50 subscribers, rather, not followers, while we've been on air here tonight. And if you're watching on Twitch, say hello. Chat is a little quiet. We got 30 laps to go. And actually make 29.
And we're in the middle lull, if you will, of this race right now. People are just trying to mind their P's and Q's. We're past the halfway mark. Your track position that you're going to gain right now probably isn't a high amount. So just trying to stay clean and make sure that you have a clean pit stop. That's going to be key. Is that Zittel coming out of the pits right there? I know he's at least one lap down.
He is multiple laps down. Unfortunately for Kyle Zittel, it's not been the race defense that he was looking for here tonight. I believe he will be 3 laps down when they come back around to the line this time. He's running in P24. So the damage was a bit too much for the 53 of Zittel, paired with the fact that he wasn't able to get up to the tail of the field on the restart. That certainly didn't help matters much.
Yeah, that restart that we had, they were very strung out there in the back with some damaged trucks and maybe some damaged trucks being in front of some clean trucks that shuffled things up a little bit. So those could be kind of dicey after you have an incident and you don't know who has a good engine or not. So they got strung out pretty good and he just wasn't able to hang on.
We've got 26 trucks still running out of our 32 starters. Paul Sargent is the last running, 6 laps down in 26th. We've got 19 on the lead lap. I believe the only driver that is not in touch with the lead pack here is Greg Roberts, who That is not who's going a lap down right now. Greg Roberts, if you remember, when the lap car stayed on the bottom, Greg was the first person to catch that truck and had to get on the binders hard. So I'm not sure what happened after that, but he has certainly lost touch with the pack. He's probably going to get lapped here within the next 5 circuits around Daytona here. As it is Dye right now, with help from Maxwell behind him, trying to fend off Daniel Morey, who's having a great showing here tonight. David Fay helping him, and the 46 of Ryan Borboom as well. And the assist third in line on the bottom is the 18 truck of Kyle Dumick, who's fighting to be the lucky dog here should the caution come out, as more lap traffic ahead. Trying to stay out of the way. Not 100% sure who that was, but did a pretty good job of getting out of the way.
Yeah, a little bit of shuffling up front there when that happened. Borboom actually drops to the bottom now. He's the green 46 truck. Fourth in line on the bottom now, and Faye is the first truck on that top line. He's been running that top line pretty much all night long. He was up there when the first crash happened and was able to get through on the bottom, I believe, without incident. So he got kind of lucky to be able to get through that, and he's still up front fighting, trying to get to that top spot on the top line.
Yeah, he was trying to get around some lap traffic, had to take his foot out of the gas just a little bit, but the run is coming back to him now, as it's just 2 trucks there on the outside. It's Fay in front of Rodney Roberts, who again is multiple laps down. Still fighting hard. Top 10 right now is Ryan Dye, Daniel Morey, David Fay, Cole Maxwell, Ryan Borboom, believe Jeremy McKinnon, and Will Salamone. They're pretty well in touch with the lead pack, as is Shane Winslow in 8th. Andy Poliski in 9th is a little further back, as is Garrett Rainey, but I'd say they're also still in touch. They just have some work to do. Steve Roman in 11th, right behind Rainey. Michael Kroll is in 12th. Michael Dean in 13th. Brantley Gainey in 14th. Luke Peterson in 15th. Pretty much single file from, say, the 6th position all the way back to 15th, make it 16th with Corey Rutherford, who may be starting to lose touch with this pack just a little bit. Paul Ellison and Nathan Reynolds also hanging on for dear life, as it's 22 laps to go when they come back to the stripe. So what was your math on our pit window here?
Well, our pit stop that we thought we were going to be around is right at around lap 35. I believe our caution happened around lap 18 or so. I don't remember exactly. So 43. We're looking at, I mean, we should be pretty close. I'm going to say right around lap 50, which we are coming up on here in just a couple.
So probably within the next,
I'd say within the next 5 laps or so.
I think the caution came out after lap 18, but I also don't think that we're very far. So I'll say, yeah, probably within the next 5 laps as the caution is going to come out here. Oh, they're wrecking. Maxwell, I mean, that is pretty much almost the rest of the field.
Wow, and they are bunched up, trying to avoid each other as well. A big pileup right before the start-finish line. And again, another incident that starts right there at the front of the pack.
Now, the initial contact was between 3 trucks. It was Fay, Maxwell, and Morey. How it happened, though, not 100% sure. Definitely, though, Maxwell came up the track. I'll let you take a better look at it here.
Yeah, we're going to back it up just a little bit here. That's the 8 of Maxwell that we're going to be watching closely, as we're just going to go ahead and go to a far chase cam here. Slow it down for you. This is Maxwell in the blue and white 8 truck. That's Faye in the 88 above him. And yes, Maxwell comes up. There's a little bit of net code. Faye was coming down the track just a little bit, but not anything that was really out of line. He's going to end up spinning the 72 of Maury. And Borboom's going to get involved. A couple of lap trucks getting involved.
As the field is coming down, I mean, the pit window, we were just talking about it, so they're definitely good to go to the end here. While you're queuing up replays, take a look at Michael Crawl, if you could, because he gets a good look at it all, first of all. But he is almost the meat in a sandwich that he doesn't want to be a part of.
Go ahead and go to try to go to a little bit of a different camera angle there, but I'm actually going to go to a cockpit. Why not? Maybe.
Nothing's cooperating, is it? It just can't work.
No, it just doesn't want to work for me tonight. I don't know what the deal is.
Well,
we're on
that's
board
all
here
right.
with Michael Crawl.
There you go.
Coming through here, you see they're wrecking. He can't really see almost anything in front of him. Hard on the brakes, gets into the outside wall, into Poliski just a little bit. He might have some right side damage for sure. Getting into the wall just a little bit. Probably not going to be too bad, though.
It was quite the stack up behind him, so I don't know how he didn't get obliterated. I suppose it's a testament to everybody to not arc or brake the living daylights out of that crash. But as they work under the second caution of the night here, it's 19 laps to go. It is Jeremy McKinnon who is leading the way. A couple of drivers just got the wave around. The lucky dog went to the 21 of Jeff Langston. I believe Kyle Dumig was the driver that just went past the pace car there. But Jeremy McKinnon in control. Elects to take the bottom. Ryan Dye then will be to his outside. It'll be Wilt Salamone in third. Luke Peterson in fourth. Michael Crawl then will restart in fifth. Corey Rutherford to his outside. Nathan Reynolds now in P7. Paul Ellison eighth. Ryan Borboom ninth. And Steve Roman rounds out your top 10. As it's
This is where
all ratcheted up from here.
Yeah. We just had a caution, and it's not going to get any easier for our drivers after that one.
Yeah, if you thought that we've junked a lot of trucks here in the first two wrecks, we may not be done yet.
Yeah, we may not be done, although there are probably going to be some trucks that are somewhat damaged, at least a little bit here. So I would imagine that there might not be as many clean trucks as we think there are. We'll have to see how it's going to shake out.
McKinnon leading the field back to green on the inside. 18 laps to go. He gets a big jump here. That's not always a good thing on super speedways. As Ryan Dye will jump into the bottom underneath.
Whoa, and one's on the apron.
Peterson is on the apron. I think he's going to save it, but he jumps down to the flat on the back straightaway to not cause any further problems. Man, that was an epic save, and now he's into the grass. Yeah, that is going to cost him the race if there's not another caution. That's unfortunate, but a great save. And I'm sure a lot of drivers are thankful that he did not take anybody with him. As now here comes the charge from the outside. Rutherford is leading the way, and now he's leading the race. Rutherford with help from Paul Ellison on the top line. Rutherford is clear. Ellison is not, as McKinnon trying to fight back on the inside. Oh, now Rutherford going to get shuffled to the middle. There goes Ellison.
And Borboom's going to stick with Ellison.
They stall out just a little bit as Borboom getting wiggly. Now Rutherford can get in on the bottom. The top line is going to stall out. As some tense moments there. It was a great start for the rookies, but they're having a tough go of it here in just the last 10 to 15 laps or so. But no harm, no foul. They can mount another offensive here on the top line. That is exactly what Ellison and Borboom are trying to do here as McKinnon still leading the way, still with help from Ryan Dye and Salamone behind them.
We're going to be coming 15 to go the next time around. You got to know that Ryan Dye wants to set the tone for his run at a third straight championship. He's second on the inside right now, and he's going to want this one badly.
It's been a quiet night for Jeremy McKinnon, who is leading right now. But if you'll recall, in a race that we did not stream, but you and I got to watch the whole thing in its entirety, Jeremy McKinnon really knew how to put on the moves late and had, I think, the winning move in the bag before the last crash took out pretty much everybody except for the eventual winner, Kyle Zittel. But Jeremy McKinnon, no stranger to having to make those tough, quick-thinking moves. And maybe putting himself in a position where he has to make those again. So he now finds himself in second. Paul Ellison has dropped in front of McKinnon.
We
now
have
trying to get around some lap traffic.
Another one staying on the bottom here.
One staying on the top. Oh my gosh. Kick a field goal between them. I don't think you get any points for it, unfortunately.
Here at Daytona, catching a lap truck right at the tri-oval where start and finishes. That is a scary thing to do, as Rutherford got caught up in all of that, and he's dropped back a long ways, all the way down to 13th now.
Oh, man. Oh, Reckon. Faye's around. Caution is out again. Oh, Faye is upside down. And Rutherford, I believe, was involved in that one as well.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate for Faye. He's been up front all night long pretty much, and is now likely not finishing this race as he's going to jump to the pits.
So Faye was on the top side. He jumps down to the bottom in front of Michael Krall, who does not really let him into line. And as Faye's coming to a stop, Rutherford does not have any time to check up at all. And that is what sends Faye for a light rollover, if there even is such a thing.
Yeah, Faye came down, didn't get all the way down to the line, and just gets tapped in the left rear by Michael Krall. And Krall tries to slow down, but it's too late. Faye is already around. And
Kevin Sargent is in the chat, saying good luck to everybody. Wish he could have been there at the end of the race. Understandable.
All right, Tommy.
Oh, boy.
Well, we went green with about 20 to go, and now we're going to go green again with about 10 to go, probably. It's certainly not going to get any more quiet than it has been earlier tonight. In fact, we might see some more fireworks light off here in the next 10 minutes or so.
I'd say you're absolutely right. As did Paul Sargent get the lucky dog, or did he just decide to go around the pace truck? He is 6 laps down in 24th. As he may be the last truck running right now in the 24th position. He's going to pass a couple of more trucks, I'm sure. As David Fay, Corey Rutherford, no surprise, they have meatball flags. So we've lost in this race Kevin Sargent, Ethan Patterson, Kevin Cochran, James Efall, and Dustin Dean. They've all disconnected from the sim. I believe we've also lost Austin Holyfield, although I thought I just saw his truck motoring around. Maybe, maybe not. Not 100% sure. But it is, what, caution number 3 on the night?
Yeah, that's our third caution here tonight.
And Paul Ellison is leading the way here.
And Ellison was not making much noise until our second caution of the evening. Came up towards the front after that and finds himself currently in the catbird seat. We'll see how that is going to shift here when we go green.
Ellison is one of the more well-rounded drivers in Venom Truck Series competition. He's got 3 wins to his credit. 1 at a road course, 1 at a short track, and 1 at a 2-miler. But is yet to go to victory lane at Super Speedway. Has a runner-up finish at Talladega last season, but could be in store for the big one here tonight to kick off Season 5. What a start it would be for him and the Alabama gang at the start of the season.
Now Michael Krall is going to go back to the pits. Probably has some more damage to fix, if I had to guess.
Yeah, that's not insignificant contact to send somebody that far up the track. So definitely going to have a little bit of splitter and grill damage on that one to take care of. As David Fay has disconnected, that is not a surprise. That car, or that truck rather, was not fixable. So that's the end of the season opener for David Fay here tonight, as the Rocketman 175 is drawing to a close. Everybody in the chat, pick who you think is going to take it here tonight with who is left. I mean, at this point, who knows? We've had such a revolving door of characters up front all night long. Who knows who's going to walk away with this one?
Well, somebody who's now showed up in the top 10 that we haven't talked about pretty much all night is a former 2-time champion. Nathan Reynolds has cracked the top 10, now finds himself in 10th place. Stuck around till the end, and he's going to find out what he's got here in these last 10 laps. You like that one?
I enjoyed that probably too much. And he's another driver that has the 9-win total. He could be the first to break into the double digits here tonight, and he knows how to get it done on the super speedway as well. So watch for Reynolds deep in the field. Watch for Ellison to have control of the restart here on the bottom. He can go anytime that he wants. He does not have to wait for the Geico restart zone, but he does anyway, and puts the pedal to the metal, as does McKinnon on the outside. McKinnon's got no help for the time being, as Dye sucks right up to the back bumper of Ellison. Here comes the run from the top side. McKinnon is clear. He drops right away. Salmon to the outside line.
The outside doesn't have too many trucks with it right now, as they're going to try to get moving. We're still gaining momentum here down the back stretch, as this is just the first lap on the restart. They have a few behind them that are trying to come up and help. I would have to imagine we're going to see a couple jump out at some point, as that outside line, when you have trucks with it, moves quite well, carries a lot of momentum around the track.
Salamone, Rainey, and Borboom, those are the 3 trucks in the outside right now. As it's Jeremy McKinnon on the bottom. Now with 9 laps to go, he leads the way at Daytona.
Some of the favorites here in the chat are 2-time champion Ryan Dye, 2-time champion Nathan Reynolds. and the 22 of Brantley Gainey Jr., some of the favorites here in the chat at the moment.
Well, they call him Rowdy Reynolds and Car Inside Reynolds. We'll have to see. He just pulled up to the outside lane. He is the fourth truck there. He's got some work to do, but he's got now coming up to 8 laps to go to do it. But is anybody going to be able to get around Jeremy McKinnon? He is holding a steady wheel here on the bottom. Here comes a little bit of a run on the outside for Salamone. They are so close to the line. That was 15 one-thousandths of a second as the caution is out.
There's one around way in the back. Looks like maybe a single car, maybe a little bit of contact. And is that Dean? I didn't see quite who it was.
So it's Austin Holyfield, I believe. Yeah, Michael Dean was also involved in that.
Showing you guys a lot.
Now, Holyfield had quite a bit of damage from our first caution, and I think was probably just trying to pick up some positions. He is 34 laps down. But I thought earlier I saw his car motoring around, so he's been plugging away, trying to pick up some spots.
Yeah, Dean was pushing Holyfield and just got Holyfield a little bit loose and ends up turning him into the wall. They make hard contact on the outside wall right past the start-finish line.
So it's not been the debut tonight that Austin Holyfield has wanted, I can tell you that. He was running well when the caution came out, the first caution rather, but it's been quite the slog since then. That is surely going to end his night now, as the field has caught the pace car here, working 6.5 laps to go, and caution number 4 on the night.
Well, we said it wasn't going to quiet down, and it surely hasn't. From the front to the back, there has been no slack given for the last 20 laps or so, and I would imagine the field is going to start to tighten up even more as we're going to go with about 5 laps to go here in the Rocketman 175.
Now, just think if you were somebody like Nathan Reynolds, who was staring down 7 or 8 trucks in front of you with 8 laps to go, and you're thinking, okay, this is what I've got to do. This is what I need to do. This is who I'm looking for. Now, all of a sudden, the caution is out. You can't do anything. You're watching the laps tick off here. Is panic setting in? What is the mindset for some of these guys that are a little bit further in the top 10?
Yeah, I mean, if that's me sitting back there in, 8th, 7th, 8th, 9th, I wanted that to stay green because I need to get a group together that has some momentum, a lot of momentum to try to go to a third lane. And if we're going to go green with only 5 laps to go in these trucks, it's going to take a little bit to get up to speed and get any amount of momentum for a third lane push. So certainly not what I would be hoping for, but with 5 to go, it's still definitely possible for those guys to round up something on that outside lane. For me personally, if I'm back there 7th, 8th, and 9th, I'm looking to say, all right, we're going to a third lane and we're pushing right to the front.
Now, the one thing that I've had the most trouble with in doing all the prep that I've done for Venom thus far is keeping track of who's on what damn team. There's so many teams with so many cool names, and there's just drivers at the wazoo. I've had the most problems with that for sure. Jeremy McKinnon leading the way right now for Broke Guy Racing. Great name, classic name. You got Will Salamone driving for Zittel Racing. Of course, Kyle Zittel already out of this one. And P3, Paul Ellison with the Alabama gang. That one's been the easiest to remember thus far, I'd say anyway. Garrett Rainey, also with the Alabama gang. And Ryan Borboom, I believe, is a free agent. We'll see if that changes after he's looking at a P5 here tonight. Ryan Dye for RNS Motorsports. I believe we've got some insert coin racing drivers up here as well. That's a great name. Yeah, I've seen ICR pop up a couple of times in the chat here tonight as the races roll along. So we'll keep an eye, of course, on the driver standings here tonight, or after tonight rather. But we'll also keep an eye on the team standings as the season rolls along. We you and I both have some homework to do on that one.
Yeah, I've been going through the Discord and trying to look at the teams, and I love this league because they do.
The posts are awesome. I love the press releases. Yeah,
the team posts for the press releases are some of the best I've ever seen. Absolutely hilarious. I think there was somebody off on an island at one point, and somebody went to find them, but didn't know that they'd already made their way back to the States. So it was all for naught at that point.
Too bad.
That was just one of the many that I remember and stood out quite well. So if you're in the Discord and haven't looked at those, just take a gander. They're pretty interesting.
Yeah. And I think as the weeks roll along here, speaking of Discords, we're going to post our own Discord. I've got it up right now, but it is under construction. It's not very appealing to look at. And we're going to have some things to be announced here very shortly, and some exciting things at that. So we'll keep your ears to the ground on that one. And again, before we get too crazy here, the RL Daredevil Series is on Turn 200 tomorrow night at, 8 Eastern? 7 Eastern? I don't remember.
8 Eastern. 8 Eastern, 7 Central.
It's
be there.
Gateway. You're going to want to be there at Gateway for round number 7 of the RL Daredevil Series. All right, here we go. 4 laps to go. Is this the run to the checkers? McKinnon with a good jump. Again, that's not always what you want. Salamone does get into line there. Slots in P3 behind Ellison and McKinnon. Single file all the way back to Nathan Reynolds there at P8. And now Dye looks to the outside. Borboom's going to go with him. Salamone shifts up the track as well. Top line may have the numbers when they get formed up, but how quickly is that going to happen?
Yeah, they're getting together in a hurry now. They were a little spread out, but now bumper to bumper, 4 trucks in a row.
Langston and Vroman have joined the party on the bottom, as has Wenslow. The 18 truck of Kyle Duman, who is back on the lead lap now, pulls up to the top side. 3 to go at the line.
And poor Boom had a big wiggle coming out of 4. Looked a little squirrely, but he keeps it in check. That outside lane is looking for some momentum. They don't seem to have it right now.
He's having trouble staying lined up in the corners, but he's a great pusher down the straightaway here. They are coming down to the super stretch here. Borboom giving the big shots here to Salamone. The run stalls out, though. McKinnon will have the advantage now into turn number 3.
And Borboom is pushing as hard as he can all the way into 3.
At the line, 2 laps to go. Ellison and Salamone make some contact. Here is the big move. Salamone edges ahead at the line. McKinnon right back to it, though, on the bottom. Borboom is pushing Salamone for all he's worth. Ryan Dye, Reynolds, both laying back here. Are they going to try and jump out and make a third line? Are they going to stay tucked in here on the top? Oh, big wiggles from Borboom and from Dye. Are we going to make it back to the line? If we do, it'll be the white flag. McKinnon in control. Salamone leads the outside line. It's 1 lap to go.
The bottom lane in the back got a little broken up. Might stall the run out just enough for the top line to gain some momentum.
Borboom with a wiggle. He's looking to get shuffled out here. That does not bode well for Salamone on the outside. They stay in line. Here comes a big surge of momentum now. Oh, he's around. Ellison is up and over down the back straightaway. Looking to race it back to the line. Salamone, McKinnon side by side. Here's Steve Vroman now into the mix. Here comes Ryan Dye taking it 3 wide to the outside. 3 wide for second, but it's still McKinnon out front as they approach the tri-oval. They're wrecking behind him. Jeremy McKinnon wins it. A huge crash behind him as Nathan Reynolds goes to P2. absolutely massive accident. I saw 2 people in the catch fence.
Yeah, huge accident there towards the end of the race as they were pushing for everything they had, trying to make something happen. But it was Jeremy McKinnon who had that top spot on the bottom line, went unscathed in the tri-oval, and he is going to win the Rocketman 175, the first round of the 5th season of the Venom Truck Series.
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't usually think it's a good thing to be the leader at the white flag, but Jeremy McKinnon maybe just made me rethink that, as it's his 45th career start here tonight. And it's career win number 4 for Jeremy McKinnon and Broke Guy Racing. Why don't you rack up a replay there of that big crash to end it all there. We had a couple of different incidents, actually. I'm not sure if you can get them all here as we wait for some of the drivers to trickle into waiting for interview here.
Yeah, as soon as McKinnon's done with some burnouts here, we're going to try to go take a look at that, but we're going to give the man the celebration that he deserves. Burn the house down. He's won the first race of the season. We're going to go ahead and see if we can rack up a replay here.
A lot of action to cover there. Where are you starting?
Well, we're going to start at the front. We are with the front of the pack. You see Nathan Reynolds on the outside trying to make some moves. It looks like a die gets turned. I'm not sure. Let me try to get a better look at that one. This is Reynolds in the Dynaco truck behind Die. Reynolds was just pushing really hard and Die got really loose and just got turned to the bottom, right into the bottom line. Now what's going to happen from there, that field is going to get very stacked up. Everybody trying to push as hard as they can. A lot of ARCA braking going on, trying to get to the line for sure.
I'm trying to figure out who. I think that was Brantley Gainey. He just takes a comical ride up into the catch fence.
It was Gainey in the purple 22 truck.
That ridiculous.
Goes straight to the catch fence.
And while we're showing the replays here, Shane Wenzel, Nathan Reynolds, and Jeremy McKinnon, if you could please start making your way to the waiting room so we can pull you up here for an interview. I will go searching for you, though.
We're going to go ahead and go cockpit view with Gainey here. This should be a good one. And we're just going to go full force right through it. Big hit into the wall. And then another hit afterwards. And those are the fireworks that we were talking about. We didn't know it would be a purple firework of a truck up in the air for us.
Oh my gosh. That's
do you want to go
hilarious.
ahead
All
and go through the finishing order here before we go to interviews? Or
Absolutely, yeah. So somebody just jumped into the waiting for interview. I don't know who that is. I hate to pull the wrong people up into the booth, but that's exactly what's going to happen. So anyway, it is Jeremy McKinnon with another victory in his Venom Truck Series career, his 4th, in fact. Nathan Reynolds, the 2-time champ, finishes P2 to kick off the season here tonight. Shane Winslow with a podium finish here tonight in P3. Hopefully we'll hear from all 3 of those drivers momentarily. Will Salamone and Kyle Dumick then round out your top 5. Steve Vroman there in P6. Brantley Gainey somersaulting through the field there in P7. Then it is Jeff Langston in 8th. Greg Roberts, good recovery for him to finish P9. Luke Peterson in the 10th position. Ryan Dye, Garrett Rainey 11th and 12th. Daniel Morey in 13th. Paul Ellison, Ryan Borboom 14th and 15th. Michael Krall then is the first driver, 1 lap down in 16th. And then Rodney Roberts, 3 laps down, 17th. Jan Van Leer, 3 laps down in 18th. 3 laps down in 19th is Kyle Zittel. So he actually did finish this race. Certainly a lot further down than he did last season, though. Pascal Samard and Paul Sargent, 20th and 21st. Then it's Michael Dean, 7 laps down in 22nd. I believe DNFs from here on out: David Fay, Corey Rutherford, Andy Poliski, Cole Maxwell, Austin Holyfield, Ethan Patterson, James Efall, Dustin Dean, Kevin Sargent, and Kevin Cochran, your 32 finishers here tonight. As now I think it is time for interviews, as we've got our 3rd place finisher, Shane. You were seemingly pretty quiet all night long, but you pulled off the P3. Were you expecting that coming into tonight?
Honestly, I was just expecting to finish the race, not to finish 3rd. Real happy about that.
You, I mean, I went back and watched the replay. You had a pretty good look at all the chaos that was going on around you. How'd you sneak through it?
Yeah, I just played it safe most of the race by seeing people getting a little bit squirrely. I'd slow down and let it all clear up, and just doing that all race got me up there in the end.
Matt, what do you got for Shane?
Hey, employed the strategy that Tommy and I know and love, just kind of sticking around towards the end. Finds himself in a 3rd place finish. Congratulations on a podium here tonight. What are your expectations for yourself as we continue through the rest of the Venom Truck Series season number 5?
Well, for the rest of the season, I just kind of want to stay consistently around near the top 10. I mean, I'm kind of new to this, so just learning experience, really.
Well, I'd say it's a pretty good learning experience to finish P3 at the season opening here at Daytona. Anybody you want to give a shout out to here tonight?
I just want to give out a shout out to Rodney Roberts. Hell of a driver. Unfortunate luck today for him, but we look out for each other, and that's how we stick around in these races.
We gave Rodney some love on the stream as well. We saw him pushing and shoving all night long in the best way possible, even multiple laps down. So he was keeping it clean and green up front. So good run for him, but a great run for you here tonight, a P3 run. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So there's Shane Winslow. Let's go ahead and bring in Nathan Reynolds now. He finishes P2 here tonight. Congratulations. Great way to kick off the season for you. You had a great view of the chaos there, pushing on the outside lane down the back straightaway. What did you see at any point during that last lap?
It was hard to see. There was so many trucks all over the place there, and had my teammate lined up in front of me, the 15 of Ryan, and I was exactly where I wanted to be, and trying to make things work. And coming to the line, we were in a spot where I'd kind of strategized and told him that we needed to be, and gave him what I thought was a square push. And I think I may have inadvertently caused some more chaos there coming to the line.
That'll happen from time to time at Daytona, I think. Matt, what do you got for Nathan here?
Yeah, that last restart there, Tommy and I were talking about some strategy starting 7th to kind of where you want to be. Personally, for me, I love going to a 2nd or 3rd lane there towards the end of the race. What was your guys' strategy there towards the end?
Yeah, before that last yellow came out, I was trying to work my way up to my teammate, Ryan, and I was telling him, as the laps were winding down, I said, okay, we're running out of time. I've got to get to you. And we actually, just like you were saying, kind of being in a good position there, we got a very timely caution that helped us out big time, and it lined us up 6th and 7th. And we were talking before about him getting in front of me to where we could line up for it. So it was just more than one domino fell into place for that final restart there. We just couldn't execute on the last lap and had a little mishap there. Kind of unfortunate, but happy to come away P2. Congratulations to Jeremy.
There you go. You were pretty quiet all night long, and was that the plan coming into tonight, or was that more happens?
Yeah, just lay back, stay out of trouble, and just try to execute late. And it worked to perfection up until the last lap there, which I guess I can't complain too much. We ended up getting a podium, so that's always good to have a good result like that. But yeah, just staying out of trouble. You know, the parity of these super speedways, you got to be there at the end if you want to even have a chance at it. So that was the goal for tonight.
Yeah, I'd say it worked to perfection. Just one spot out from the win here tonight. But who do you want to thank with the silver medal here tonight?
Thanks for my team, all my teammates for putting up with me each and every week. Big thanks to a lot of the guys at Team Nitro and Nitro Racing Setups for all that they do to help provide me information and try to make me a better driver. And then NASCAR Report over on Instagram has been a big sponsor of mine for many seasons now and promoted my YouTube channel, Car Inside. NASCAR Report's a very big sponsor of mine. Big thanks to them. And thank you guys. It's awesome to take you guys on this season as our new broadcasters for this league. And I can't wait to go back and watch the race. What small sample sizes I have seen of you guys, I've really enjoyed. So look forward to that as well. So.
Well, absolutely. Thank you much. We appreciate it, and a nice job tonight. No doubt we'll be talking to you throughout the season here. Congratulations on a P2, though, to kick it off.
Thank you guys very much.
All righty. I think it's time to bring in our race winner here. It's win number 4, Jeremy McKinnon, in truck number 12. Awesome job here tonight, especially in the back half of that race. I mean, you really dictated the pace of both lanes, whichever lane you chose to be in. Did you want to be in first there on that last lap, or were you hoping that you'd got past by that point?
I really don't know. Just trying to play everything through my mind. It's Daytona. I can't believe I did it. It's awesome, but you try to pay attention in the mirror and see where the runs are coming from, and it helps when you have a great teammate alliance like Paul Ellison behind you. He really gave me the shots I needed.
Oh, there you go, Matt. What do you got for Jeremy?
Yeah, I mean, we watched you all night long from the top line to the bottom line. You pretty much had the field covered up pretty well. We're able to control a large part of this race. You seem to be a great super speedway racer. What is your strategy usually for these races? To kind of stick around, or do you usually like to be in the front controlling that race most of the time?
If I can qualify up front, I like to stay up front and be aggressive. But in this case, I got wrecked out in the duel, the qualifying races there, and I got stuck at about the middle of the pack, and I didn't want to be in the middle, so I went to the back and just kind of hung out, waited for the carnage to happen, and then I think it was 25 laps ago or 20 laps ago, somewhere in that neighborhood, I had found myself up towards the front, and they had a wreck. And then I found myself up in the lead, and from there it was just whatever I could do to control my own destiny. It's really hard. You got to have teammates and great help, like I said, like Paul.
Well, anybody you want to shout out here from the top step of the podium here tonight? You earned it.
Everybody on my team, Andy, Jeff. I know I'm missing other guys. The Alliance, you got Garrett and Paul Ellison, and I'm forgetting more names. I'm just so excited. I'm trying to go over everything here. I don't know. There's a lot of people to thank, my wife, my kids, and they give me some time to get on and do this stuff, and it's really appreciative.
Well, you did them all proud here tonight. You made all the right moves. You made all the And you made another good choice because you said that you're a Ryan Blaney fan. That's always a great decision, I think.
I am. I'm a big Ryan Blaney fan. I became a fan of his after Carl Edwards retired, and I was kind of looking for a couple years to see who I was going to follow. And I don't know, something gravitated me towards Ryan Blaney.
There you go. It's a great club to be in, let me tell you. But congrats on the win here tonight. Go party hard. I know we'll be talking to you throughout the season here. But go burn it down here tonight.
I will. Thank you.
That's your race winner, Jeremy McKinnon. And boy, how do we put the closing touches on a night like tonight? It was I mean, it got spaced out and strung out for just a handful of laps. But most of the night, it was on the gas all night long. I'm honestly kind of exhausted.
I mean, that was just classic iRacing Daytona right there with a great league. You got a lot of respect between drivers, but at some point, it's going to hit the fan, and it sure did there towards the end of the race. We had quite a few cautions, but not a whole lot going up to that point. We did have one big one a little bit earlier in the race, but this was just classic Daytona iRacing for stock cars, and I loved every minute of it.
Absolutely. Anything else that you want to say before we close up shop here tonight?
Shout out to all the viewers here tonight. We had up to 30 plus viewers at one point. Love to see the support for Turn 200. We're very excited to be on board with the Venom Truck Series for this season, and hopefully for some time to come as well. So shout out to those guys for trusting us with the broadcasting needs for them. We are looking forward to it, and we hope that they are looking forward to having us on the call as well. We are very appreciative of the opportunity.
Well, whenever our technology decides to work, it's hopefully put on a good show for you here tonight. Gosh, we picked up 15 subs here tonight. That is just awesome. I picked up a few followers on Twitch as well. So thanks for everybody who came and hung out with us here tonight and saw a lot of good racing with the Venom Truck Series. They will be back in action same time, same place as in here at Turn 200. They'll be at virtual Michigan International Raceway next Tuesday night. That is going to be another great race. You're going to want to be a part of it. So if you would, please hit the follow, hit the subscribe. If you're on Twitch, hit the subscribe as well. That would be absolutely clutch. We've got a lot of things in the works here coming down the pipeline in the next couple of weeks that are hopefully going to be turning some heads. So we want you to be a part of it all. Thanks for coming to hang out with us here tonight. Again, our next broadcast will be tomorrow night with the RL Daredevil Series. They'll be in action from Gateway at about 7:45 Eastern is when we'll go live with that. And again, next Tuesday, back in action with the Venom Truck Series at Michigan. Thanks for everybody for coming to hang out here tonight. For the greatest stream producer of all time, Mr. Matt Williamson, I've been Tommy Cook. Until we meet again, we want to say a big congratulations to the Venom Truck Series for turning 5 seasons old, and also to Jeremy McKinnon for winning the Rocketman 175.